Hey guys, welcome to this video on how to register for courses at Ambrose University. My name is David.
My name is Johana.
And we are admissions advisors here, which basically means we're your best friends until you come to Ambrose.
That's right.
Alright, so what are we doing?
So today we will actually guide you through 5 steps to show you how to register for courses. So the first one is pay your tuition deposit. Second, choose your courses. Third, log into registration. Fourth, import courses. And the fifth and last one is to confirm and submit.
Awesome. So let's jump in by going to the main Ambrose webpage first. Alright, so once you're on that main page, you're going to hover over admissions and then go to admitted students. Congratulations on being admitted students, by the way.
Congratulations.
Alright, so once you get to this page, you'll have a walkthrough of all the steps that you'll need to take in order to register for courses, so you can reference this at any time. The first step you'll see there is paying your tuition deposit. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So there is a $250 tuition deposit that you have to do before you register. If you don't pay that tuition deposit, you won't be able to register for courses. So make sure you do that. So if you click on the admissions tab, which is right on the top, you will be able to see tuition and fees just right under financial aid. Okay, so if you scroll down a little bit, you will be able to see another button that's yellow and it says how to pay your tuition and fees. Click on that. You will be able to see different ways of how to pay your tuition deposit. You can either do it in person, by mail, with a check, or with your online banking, which I did as a student.
Yeah, paying online through your bank is really easy. I paid my tuition through my phone, which is really great.
That's right.
There are a lot of resources available through the financial aid tab on this webpage, but we'll talk about those at a different time for you guys. All right, we'll go back to the admitted students page, so that list of all of our steps. And the second step we're going to talk about is choosing your courses. So when you're back on this page, you'll see that we have program requirements here. So if you click on that, this will bring you to a list of all of the programs and all of the courses that you'll need to take in those programs in order to graduate. So let's go to behavioral sciences, for example. So this page will come up for you guys. So you'll see at the top, faculty advisors. Did you want to talk about those real quick?
Yeah, those are great resources. Like, professors here do want to meet you. So let's say you're in the behavioral science program. Please reach out to them, talk to them, ask them questions about the program.
Yeah, certainly, they're a great resource. But you'll also see here at the top of the page that you need 120 credits to graduate from this major. So you'll see all of the credits that you'll have to take, or the courses that you'll have to take, listed throughout this page, divided up into different disciplines essentially. So it's worth taking a look at what kind of disciplines you'll need to take in order to graduate, and all of the classes that you should be prioritizing. Along with that, we actually have recommended first year courses for all of our students. So you'll see that just below the program requirements pages. These will be for both the fall and the winter semesters. So in May, when course registration opens up, you will actually be able to register for both the fall and winter courses. So that's why we have these recommended for you. But if you click on that, we'll have recommended courses for your first year divided up into each program discipline. So say you're at a behavioral science program, these courses are what we would recommend you take in your first year so that you have the foundation you need to get into the second year courses. So this certainly helps out. Another benefit of it is that all of the time slots have been arranged so that there's no conflict. So you don't have to worry about getting into one class and then all of a sudden you have another class that conflicts with it. So this is all laid out very nicely for you.
That's right.
But again, it is just a recommendation, so we would suggest that you look at it, but you can certainly pick your own courses. Once you have your courses selected, the next step will be to log into the registration tab. So the best way to do that is on this page, go down to my.ambrose. That'll take you to another webpage that has access to a whole bunch of different resources for our students. So whether it's your email through Ambrose, IT support, Moodle, student registration system. Yes, as Johana said, we do offer free Office 365 to all of our students, so you can download that from this link as well. But we're going to stick with the student registration tab. So we'll click on that, and you'll be brought to this screen here.
That's right. So once you pay your tuition deposit, you will actually receive your user ID and your password. Let's say you have no idea and you never received it, reach out to us. We actually have access to it, and then we can actually send it to you so you can log in.
Yeah, excellent. So once you have your login credentials ready to go, just click login, and this is the page it'll bring you to. So you'll see at the top there's a bunch of different resources available for you. We'll talk about a few of them afterwards, but we're going to stick with registration for now. So you hover over that tab, and the drop-down menu will open up Enroll in Classes. So we'll click on that. And then on this screen here, you'll see an option, typically you'll see an option to click the semester that you want to register for courses in. Right now, since we're in the spring semester, it's only giving us the spring semester option, but in May, when the full registration opens up for fall and winter, you'll be able to select which semester you'd like to register for. So it's important that you're on the right semester.
Yes, that's right.
So click that and then hit Edit Registration. Now on this screen here, you'll see two different drop-down menus. We already have an example put in here. The first one will have a list of all of the course codes and the courses that are available for that semester. So as Johana was talking about with those first year courses, you'll see all of them listed as the course code and then the number 100 or 115 or something like that. So for example, we'll click English Literature Intro, EN 115. That's a course that everyone's going to have to take.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in the first slot here. And then in the second slot, this will be the time availability for the course. So some courses are offered multiple times throughout the semester. So if you need to work out a different time slot for your schedule, you can pick it through here. Right now, because it's a spring semester, we only have that one time slot. So we'll put that in there. Did you want to talk about the difference between full and part-time students?
Yes, totally. So as a full-time student, you actually have to take 3 to 5 courses. As a part-time, it's just 1 or 2. But we do encourage students to stick to full-time status just because you actually receive scholarships and financial aid and so forth. Sometimes you can actually spread it out. You have the flexibility to spread out your schedule. So let's say you want to graduate on time still, you can still do that by, instead of taking 5 full courses in a semester, you can take some spring courses. We also have modular courses, which means a 1 week long course, typically 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and sometimes on the reading break, November and February, we do offer those courses. So take advantage of that flexibility that you can actually, instead of cramming everything in one semester.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
It is quite flexible. In my first semester, I only took 3 courses, and so to make up for those courses, I took some spring classes. I actually did those as travel studies, so I went to Jordan and Israel for a month and studied there. Got credits for that, and that was in the summer, so I made up for those classes in that regard. So yeah, definitely a lot of flexibility in what you can do with that. All right, one other thing that we'd like to talk about is for classes that offer labs and tutorials. So we'll go into the first drop-down menu here, and we'll pick kinesiology, for example. So you see here, sports injuries and rehabilitation. So we'll click that. That's the actual class time. So we'll register for that course. We'll pick the time here, but you also have to register for the tutorial along with that. So you'll see it right below the class. So you're going to need to input both of those, and that is together is 1 course for the 3 credits. So that'll be at a different time, the lab time, but it's important to make sure that you input both of those. So it'll either say T or L beside the course code for tutorial or lab. So all right, once we have those courses inputted, the best thing to do next is to click potential schedule. So this will give you a great outline of what your schedule is going to look like, great visual representation.
That's right.
If you do have any course conflicts, so if you have 2 courses scheduled at the same time, it'll show up in red. So it's a very easy way to see what is in conflict there, so you can make adjustments. So I'd recommend doing that before our final step, which would be to confirm and submit.
Yay! Last step.
So once you have your course schedule figured out, you're happy with it, you just click the submit button down here, and everything should be inputted for you. Just give it a second.
That's right.
The great thing about this too is that you can log back in whenever you want and change up your registration. So it's not a one and done kind of a thing. So if you do decide you want to change up your courses, you can definitely do that. And you have up until a week after the start of classes, so the add drop deadline, and you have time to be able to make adjustments to your schedule in that sense. So there's a lot of flexibility in that, which is helpful. So after you click submit, this is what it's going to look like for you. So you'll have all of your courses listed there. Now let's talk quickly about some of the other Oh, sorry, waitlist.
Yeah, waitlist. Yeah. So some of the courses can be full. I think geology, everyone wants to take that class, which is quite interesting. And when you register for that course, you will actually see whether it's full or not. It will actually just show right beside in the name of the course. If it's full, you can actually be in the wait list. There is a chance that you can get into the course, but there's also a chance that you might not be able to.
So yeah, we'll be able to give you updates on wait lists as you ask for them or as things change for that. So definitely we'll be walking with you through that. But yeah, just to mention some other tools that you have in the student registration system. One really great one is billing. So when you click on this, your statement will appear generally about a week after you've registered for your courses. So you can start to understand how much you'll be having to pay for these courses, what your scholarship information is going to be. It's all going to be outlined right there. So you can take a look at that. And the last thing we'd like to point out is degree audits.
Yes.
So this is a really handy tool for students. I referenced it all throughout my degree. Yeah. You'll see it has a pie chart here just showing you where you are at in terms of completion for your degree. So it's a really handy visual representation about where you're at. It also has what your GPA is, who your academic advisor is, how many credits you need to complete, how many you're in progress with, a lot of really important information. So yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you check that page.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about what classes you need to take in order to graduate, feel free to contact Registrar and they'll be happy to answer any of those. Please for sure.
And just keep in mind that we're both around and to reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah, please give us questions. We want to keep our jobs. All right, we look forward to having you on campus and seeing you in the fall, the winter semester, whenever you're coming.
And meeting you in person.
All right, let us know if you have any questions.
Okay, bye.